Have you ever considered how important repetition is if you want to lose weight and keep it off? Welcome back to the JoLynn Braley Show. This is episode number 328. Topic: the 3 most important habits for eating healthy and losing weight. Hello, welcome back to the JoLynn Braley Show. This is JoLynn Braley, permanent weight loss coach, weight loss mindset expert, and founder of the Inner Self Diet. The Inner Self Diet is the diet that actually works. Yeah, imagine that. The Inner Self Diet is not a food diet. The Inner Self Diet heals the root of what drives your unhealthy eating behaviors. The Inner Self Diet heals the root of what drives you to continue to sabotage yourself and binge eat, emotionally eat, yo-yo diet. The Inner Self Diet fixes the real issues. What happens as a result is the Inner Self Diet sets you free. It puts you into the place where it is struggle-free to live healthy and fit so that you can finally lose weight and keep it off. I have been doing this work with amazing coaching clients since 2009, and I have found that it works every single time. All you have to do is do it. You can't get these results without doing it. I mean, let's get real. Nothing works if you don't work it. Hey, if you want to learn just a tiny bit more about losing weight from the inside out, and I don't mean your intestines, I mean making the inner changes that you need to make in order to make weight loss easy and fun, then go over to www.easyfunweightloss.com and you can download my 3 free steps now. You can get those at www.easyfunweightloss.com. Today's topic is the 3 most important habits for eating healthy and losing weight. This is actually a question that I received, and I prefer to answer it here on my podcast because then it can help more people, and it's probably a question that you might have yourself. You know, what are the most important habits that you've got to create in order to eat healthy and lose weight? Now, did you notice the question that I gave you at the very, very beginning of today's episode? I asked, have you ever considered the importance of repetition when it comes to losing weight and keeping it off? All right, what does that mean? What is this about repetition? Well, what is a habit? A habit is a behavior that you have repeated over and over and over and over again, and it's super, super easy for you to do it now because it is a habit. So let's say that you eat at night in front of the TV when you're not hungry and you're trying to stuff down all of your frustrations from what's accumulated throughout your whole day. Now, more than likely, you don't think of it like that. You just know that you binge eat in front of the TV every night at 8 o'clock. All right? But why is it so easy for you to keep doing that? Even though you know you want to lose weight, why is it so easy for you to sabotage yourself like that? Because it's a habit. Because you've done it so many times, your brain thinks that you want to keep doing it. And so your brain is making it easy for you to keep doing it. Imagine that. So your brain thinks that it's helping you by continuing to make it so easy for you to sit down in front of the TV every night at 8 o'clock and stuff yourself. You know that it's never going to help you lose weight. You know that the kind of food you're eating isn't helping you lose weight, but still you keep doing it. And if you don't take action to change the root of that behavior, then you don't have a lot of hope going forward, okay? Let's be really honest here. If you don't change your inner self programming, then it's going to be easier to just keep going as you are. All right? There's no two ways about it. Your mind leads your body. It's not the other way around. This is why I do the coaching that I do with my coaching clients in the inner self diet. Because if you don't fix and heal and transform your inner self programs, your stories, your limiting beliefs, your negative self-talk, your negative unhealthy self-image, your negative parts of your identity, all these things that are keeping you fat, if you don't change that stuff, then not much is going to... I don't want to sound like doom and gloom, but you're just going to keep doing what you're doing, all right? So there's no way around it. There's no way around it. The inner and the outer always match. So you can discount what I'm saying. You don't have to believe what I'm saying. And you could tell yourself that a food diet is going to fix all these problems and you just have to get started on Monday. Well, if that were true, why do you have to wait till Monday? Why not do it right now? What is the problem? If it's so easy for you to stop binge eating, stop emotional eating, stop sabotaging yourself, why not do it now? Why wait till Monday? Monday's not special. All right? So if you have a problem with getting your head right so that you can get your body to follow, you're not going to be able to lose weight and keep it off. All right? I don't have any other way to say this. The good news is that if you do the inner self steps so that you get the right, healthy, awesome, wonderful, empowering inner self programming running on the inside of yourself, then what will happen is your eating behaviors will change. It will be effortless to lose weight, and you will become that you on the inside who matches the body you say you want on the outside, and it will all come together. Food diets can't do that. Are you following me? Is it making sense? All right. So with all of that being said and all of that doom and gloom, which is the honest truth, there's no fluff there. Let's move on and talk about these 3 most important habits for eating healthy and losing weight. Number 1, most important habit that you must create in order to eat healthy and lose weight, you've got to plan ahead. You have to. You cannot expect that once you get overly hungry physically, that you're going to be able to make good, healthy decisions from that state of mind. Now, if you're a binge eater or an emotional eater, then you're not even going to get physically hungry because binge eaters and emotional eaters don't eat for physical hunger. That's another issue. But if you are putting yourself on a healthy eating plan and you're not planning ahead, you're not buying your clean eating foods ahead of time, you're not cooking ahead of time, you're not portioning out your meals ahead of time, you're not setting yourself up for success ahead of time, then you're really setting yourself up for failure. And this is a very practical habit that I believe is one of the 3 most important habits that you must cultivate for eating healthy and losing weight. Now, the problem with this is if you don't have the correct inner self programming running within you, if you haven't gotten that going, then you're not going to plan ahead because you're not going to believe in yourself enough to do it. Your negative self-talk is going to sabotage you every time, and you're just going to keep choosing the unhealthy foods and setting yourself up for more failure. And so The number 2 most important habit for eating healthy and losing weight, I believe that you must make it a priority to feed your mind daily with the positive. You have to put yourself on a 100% negative shunning diet. So whatever is negative in your life, you have to put yourself on a 100% negative shunning diet. Or another way to say that, you've got to put yourself on a 100% mental positive diet. You've got to clean all of the negative out. And that includes not just what you're watching, not just what you're listening to, but also your negative self-talk has to be cleaned out. You've got to put yourself on a 100% mental positive diet. Only put 100 positive in so that you start making some changes in your inner self and start getting on a positive, healthy track. Your mind leads your body. It's not the other way around. Okay? That's the most important diet that you could ever be on, is the mental positive diet. Does this make sense? So whatever it is that you're looking at, or you're watching, or you're listening to, or whoever you're talking to, whoever you're complaining to, all of the negative has to go. This will be the hardest thing, but it's totally worth it if you want to start making real changes. Okay? If instead you want to test out another purely physical action food diet and keep your negative thinking, keep your stinking negative self-talk, keep watching all the negative, keep listening to the negative, keep reading the negative, keep talking the negative, keep complaining the negative, go ahead, see how it works. I'm just saying. I believe and I advocate that you've got to feed your mind daily with the positive every single day, including how you talk to yourself. Number 3, most important habit for eating healthy and losing weight, you must maintain your focus on your outcome every day. You've got to stay focused on your why. Hey, did you do the 12 days of weight loss? If you didn't, you can go over to fearlessfatloss.com/12 days, and you can opt in there. And even though I did that as a completely 100% free series for my podcast community during the holiday season, the steps in it apply year round. And there were a couple days in there where I addressed the importance of your weight loss why, and I gave you worksheets on how to get that going. And you can get all of that when you go over to www.fearlessfatloss.com/12 days. Just opt in there. So you have to stay focused on your goal, your outcome of where you're headed every day. You can never let your focus slide. Otherwise, what's going to happen? What are you mainly focused on right now? You're mainly focused on food, more food, more food. Where's my food? What kind of food am I going to eat? Where's my next fix coming from? You're also focused on your problem of your overweight body or your obese body and the facts that you can't stop eating, and you're constantly failing at these goals that you set up for yourself of losing weight. All of your focus is on food and the negative. Where's the focus on the goal? Where's the focus on the outcome? And why do you even want to do this? So, like I said, you can get some clarity on these things and raise your level of self-awareness when you go over to fearlessfatloss.com/12 days and opt in there for the 12 days of weight loss. And the main purpose of the 12 days of weight loss is to help you start raising your level of self-awareness, because more than likely, if you're like everybody else, you're not aware of where your focus is every day and how heavy it is on the negative. And you're not aware of even exactly why do you even want to lose weight? Why is it so important? And it has to be a super strong why. Otherwise, you're going to quit. You know, a common problem that I see is this search for these instant results, the quick fix, the overnight success. Why is that? Well, I know one reason. It's really easy to see. It's because the internet has been conditioning you to think that, oh, well, I can just get instant results because I can go on the internet and get an instant answer by Googling something, and then here's this information. But it's all a false solution. It's a false outcome. There's really no solid action that you've taken besides typing in a few phrases and reading a couple of words. There is not any instant solution that you've gotten. All you've gotten is some information. Information is not transformation. You must get transformation within your real self in order to achieve struggle-free weight loss and break free of your never-ending food and weight battles. That's not information, that's transformation. Transformation only comes from taking solid action consistently. Are you following me? Is this making sense? If it does not make sense, go to my Facebook page, facebook.com/JoLynn Braley. Like the page, sign up for notifications so you know when I go live. And leave me a comment on the page. Tell me that you were listening to podcast episode 328. Tell me what I said that didn't make sense and what your question is, and I could do a follow-up podcast. But this is really, really important, and this isn't even anything I'd planned to share on the podcast today. But there's a huge disconnect when you are thinking that the information that you're getting instantly, you are then translating that instant gratification into instant results and instant transformation, which is not happening. It's not true. Write this down. Information is not transformation. And transformation is required in order to stop binge eating, stop emotional eating, stop sabotaging yourself. Transformation is required in order to consistently eat healthy, lose weight, and keep it off. Transformation is required in order to allow yourself to develop the healthy eating habits and the habit of planning ahead and the habit of feeding your mind every day with the positive and going on a 100% positive diet. Transformation is required in order to believe in yourself enough to maintain your focus on your goal every day. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of information and it's just a bunch of words. It's just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. And what are your results? You can always tell what's really going on by a person's results. Words don't mean anything. Actions show the truth, and results are the real thing. All right? You could talk all day saying you want to lose weight. What are your results? Results don't lie. People lie all the time, but results don't. Hey, it's time for a quick commercial break here on the JoLynn Braley Show. And this week's sponsor is my 3 free tips, which you can get right now by going over to www.easyfunweightloss.com. When you go to www.easyfunweightloss.com, you can download my 3 free tips, which will help you start making weight loss easier from the inside out. Get those now at easyfunweightloss.com. All right, a couple questions to ask yourself. I do recommend that you get pen and paper, write each question down, and then write your answer down to each question. Why? Because there is a connection that occurs between the head, hand, and heart when you write pen on paper. Writing pen on paper gives you that connection between you and you. You don't get that connection between you and you when you just listen to me talk or when you type on a keyboard. Also, when you write pen on paper, it forces you to get present with yourself, get into your present moment. And when you're in your present moment, there is no fear, there is no anxiety, there is no worry. You're in your present moment. So just pause the podcast as you need extra time to get pen and paper, pause to write each question down, and write your answer down. First question: how often do I plan my healthy meals ahead? I prep my food, I cook it, I portion it out, I have it all ready to go. I set myself up for success. I totally set myself up for success. How often do I do this? Is this a habit I already have? Because depending on how often you do this, it will determine whether or not it's a habit. If it's really easy for you to do and you do this all the time, then it's a habit already. Number 2 question: if I don't have the habit of setting myself up for success by planning my healthy meals ahead, having them all portioned out, all ready to go, then what are my dominant habits? What are the habits that I already have that are causing me to set myself up for failure? Do I have the habit of giving in to all of my unhealthy urges and buying all that unhealthy fake food at the grocery store? And that's a habit, and I easily am setting myself up for failure. I'm setting myself up for failure by bringing all that food home. That's just one example of an unhealthy habit. So write down all of your unhealthy habits that you have, these behaviors that are really, really easy for you to do. The habit of going to the fridge every time you feel bad. The habit of carrying candy in your car. The habit of going to McDonald's every night on the way home from work. What are all of your unhealthy habits? Now, also include your unhealthy habits, your mental unhealthy habits. All of the negative self-talk that you engage in that's really, really easy for you to do. Okay, write all of it down. Write down all of your unhealthy habits. Number 3 question: what am I feeding my mind with every day? What am I feeding my mind with every day? Write it all down. What do you start out your day with? Do you turn on the news as soon as you wake up in the morning? Would you consider that positive or negative? Is that feeding your mind with fear, or is that feeding your mind with hope, positivity, belief, inspiration? What are you watching? What are you listening to? What are you reading? Who are you talking to? What are you talking about? So here you're writing down everything that you're feeding your mind with daily. Also include your self-talk. Number 4 question: if I were to go on a 100% positive mental diet, what exactly would change for me? That means that I'd be shunning all of the negative input. I would not be complaining with anybody. I would not be engaging in negative self-talk. I would not be inputting any negative during the day. So I would only be watching positive. I'd only be listening to positive. I'd only be talking positive. I'd only be telling myself positive. What would change for me if I were to do that? Wow. Number 5 question, how the heck would I do that? So here's where you write down your action plan. How are you going to do that? And you'd have to continue with that for a minimum of 30 days back to back to see a real change. It's totally possible. You could totally do this, but you've got to have an action plan for it. And you have to do it. You got to stay consistent. So then, next question, who's my coach? Who's helping me stay accountable? Who's helping me make these core transformational changes? Who's helping me get my mind on the right track? Who's helping me change my eating habits by going to the root of the eating disorders and healing the root of those unhealthy behaviors? And one more question. I've lost count of how many of these are now. Is this number 7? You would know because you're writing them all down. But last question. If I don't have a coach, why? What are all of my negative thoughts? My lack of belief in myself, my lack of self-worth, my lack of self-deservedness, my lack of self-esteem, my lack of self-confidence, my fears, my fear of change, my fear of leaving my comfort zone, my fear of stepping out of my addictive behaviors, my fear of giving up my food, which, by the way, when you have the right mindset, you don't feel like you're giving up food. You feel like you're gaining a new life. You're gaining a wonderful body. You're gaining high self-esteem. You're gaining self-love. You're gaining struggle-free weight loss. So the fact that you even have the thought, the fear that you'd have to, quote unquote, give up your food, that shows you your mindset and that you do not have a weight loss mindset. Now, the good news is you could get a weight loss mindset and you could get it pretty fast. At least that's what my coaching clients get in the Inner Self Diet. But this last question here, you're writing down all of the negatives, all of the fears, all of the doubts, all of the roadblocks that are in you and only in you that are holding you back from getting the coaching that you could get to break free of all of these problems and do it pretty fast. Do you understand that coaching is not therapy? Coaching is all about starting from where you are right now and getting radically new results as quickly as possible going forward. I've had a lot of clients who had been in therapy in the past, and I hear over and over again that they never got the results from therapy that they got from the action plan and the coaching in the Inner Self Diet. So it's all about what you want. Do you want results or do you just want to talk about stuff? If you just want to talk about stuff, then the Inner Self Diet is not for you. The Inner Self Diet is all about results. If you do want to stop struggling and you want the results of struggle-free weight loss in 8 weeks or less, your first step is to apply for a complimentary weight loss discovery session. Go to www.discovery-session.com to get started with that now. Thanks for tuning in today for episode number 328 of the JoLynn Braley Show. Make sure that you're subscribed to the show in iTunes and give the show a tip in our virtual tip jar. It's totally free to do it. The way to do this is after you subscribe in iTunes, rate the show. I believe this is a 5-star show because anybody can talk about eat this, don't eat that. You already know all that information. Why aren't you doing it? The reason you're not doing it is because you don't have the right mindset. You have not healed your inner self. You're missing 92.8% of the solution. And 92.8% of the solution is the Inner Self Diet. 7.2% of the solution is your healthy physical eating and exercise way of life. You can't do the 7.2% if you don't have the 92.8%. Does that make sense? So rate the show, give it a 5-star rating if you agree with me, and review the show. Leave a couple sentences in your review. Share what your biggest aha is that you've gotten out of the show. You can do all of this on iTunes. That will help other people find the show, other people out there who are struggling with self-hate, body hate, that 5-ton bag of shame that they feel and they're constantly carrying around because they can't control their eating habits. Even though they know exactly how to lose weight, they can't get themselves to do it. They can't get themselves to keep the weight off. All of these problems can be healed. They can be fixed. They can all be solved by transforming your inner self. And that is what I do with my coaching clients in the Inner Self Diet. Like I said, if you want to stop struggling, and if you believe that you deserve struggle-free weight loss, if you believe that you are worth it, then go to www.discovery-session.com for your first step now. I'm JoLynn Braley, permanent weight loss coach, founder of the Inner Self Diet. I wish you your best life living inside of your ideal body.